Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of After the Buzzer. My name is Chris Brown, joined by my co-host of our podcast, Game Tape Rewind, Eric Hastings. What's going on, man?
How you doing? I hope you noticed my little outfit here.
I
I
do.
put it
You're
on
looking
just for
like
after the buzzer. I just went to little. I don't know if you see the resemblance here or not. You know, just maybe a little bit of different, but I don't think we're
it's
too far
uncanny.
off. It's
You need
uncanny.
the
I know.
you need the
Could
Tiger Woods
could be
hat,
brothers. I don't know. That's what people said. Could be brothers. I don't know.
I'm sure. So, if you've listened to our episode of the podcast, we hope you do. We just talked about the 2019 Masters and Tiger's triumphant return to victory. Um, and a prelude to that was, we had discussed all of the turmoil that happened between the years of 2008 and 2019, from his personal life to injuries to, arrests and everything that had gone wrong, um, of which there was a lot. Um, but before that, in 2008, we witnessed one of the most gutsy performances I think either one of us has ever seen, and that was Tiger Woods' performance at the 2008 U.S. Open.
Definitely the most remarkable, I think, gritty thing I've seen. And for people who kind of look to golf as, well, are they really athletes? Do they have to put pressure on their bodies like other sports? If you've never played, golf, even if someone who never played golf played 18 holes today, they'd be sore for days. Let alone playing, 4 days in a row, 18 holes, and being under incredible duress like Tiger Woods was leading up even to the 2008 U.S. Open at Torrey Pines.
Yeah, for sure. And this was, towards the end of the prime years of Tiger dominance, and I think at the time we probably wouldn't have known that, but given what transpired afterwards, it ended up being that way. So he was one of the top golfers in the world. I think he was ranked number one at this time during one of his insane 250 plus week stretches, of being the number one ranked golfer in the world. And at this U.S. Open, um, what we did not know before the event happened was that we knew he had arthroscopic knee surgery a couple of months prior to the event. Um, Apparently, I say apparently because he didn't tell anybody about this until the Wednesday after the event. He had suffered a double stress fracture in his left tibia in rehab leading up to the event. So now he's playing golf not only on, this taxing game that he's been playing 2 months after knee surgery, but he's also got a double stress fracture in his leg, and he's still swinging as hard as he can, playing his normal game, and going into the final round. Um, you could see throughout each round his condition getting progressively worse. After his tee shots, he would buckle and be leaning on his club for support because he couldn't stand. He fell to the ground a couple of times, and you're watching this guy gut through this performance in a sport where everything needs to be moving perfectly and working together for your swing to be at its pinnacle. And that's especially true for the top golfers in the world. Um, and I remember, we were in high school, and that tournament was towards the end of, I believe, our sophomore year. So it was the last few weeks of school. Um, and so on the 18th hole, Tiger is down by one to a guy named Rocco Mediate, who if you're not an avid golf fan, you probably don't remember him. He had a fairly successful PGA Tour career, but never won a major. He had a one-stroke lead. He had finished, and Tiger was the last golfer who had a shot at him.
with Lee Westwood, which we should note that both him and Tiger
Mhm.
had the same opportunity to catch him.
That's true. Thank you for pointing that out. Shout out Lee Westwood. Hopefully you win one sooner or later.
Deserves it, yes.
Um, so there's this iconic moment in golf history at this point where Tiger's got probably like a 18 to 20 foot birdie putt that if he misses it, it's over, and Rocco Bedia is your champion. And um, to me, the best moment is, if you know where this is going, obviously he makes the putt, and the camera crew immediately cuts to Rocco Mediate watching this happen in the clubhouse. And the first thing he says is, I knew he'd make it. Like, as if he had any doubt that the greatest golfer in the world was going to miss or was going to make this putt to send it into a playoff. And Eric, I don't know what you feel about this, but to me, the most impressive part about this is that at the US Open, the playoff format is the only one of the 4 major championships that goes to another full 18 round, another full 18 hole round the next day.
Yeah, I remember in high school when that was announced on that final day as they were getting closer, and they said, if this goes to a playoff, it's 18 holes. And I was like, wait a second, they're not just going to play, 9 again or whatever, 18 or whatever it is. You're telling me the guy who barely made it through this tournament has to go then do it again?
Mm-hmm.
An entire 18. It just seemed like just punishment almost, and not to mention Lee Westwood had that putt too and almost made it. So Rocco, avoided, collapse once, but then, Tiger making his and giving us my favorite Tiger celebration in history, which is this raucous double hand, big, like, woo kind of situation. He has the awkward handshake as he always does with his caddy. They seem to never connect. I don't know what that is, but 18 holes, playoff with one other guy for the US Open. It just doesn't get more grueling than that.
It also created one of the best calls in golf history, and I would say among the best in sports history. There's a podcast, No Laying Up. They're a great golf group, and in their intro music, they use that call as part of the sort of the theme music. And it's just, expect anything different, as if it's like all of the history of Tiger Woods to this moment has led to this putt. And if you expected anything different, you're crazy. So I loved that call as well, which, was another element to this iconic moment. So not only does he go to an 18-hole playoff, now I remember being in school the next day and the agony of not knowing what was happening and just trying to get onto any computer I could find. This was this was like the early days of smartphones. So you didn't have like fast speed ESPN app, or, the Masters now has shot by shot, which you can watch on their app, which is incredible. This did not exist. So I'm just like trying to Google any results I can find whenever I can get to a computer at this point. So not only do they have to play an 18-hole playoff, but they're tied after 18 holes. So now he's got to play another hole until this thing is decided. And sure enough, on the first playoff hole, Tiger pars it, a little comfy par, and Rocco hits his second shot into a bunker. Can't get up and down from there. Tiger is your champion. And now we find out he's got a stress fracture. He's got to get surgery to repair his now torn ACL, and all of these things that eventually led to some pretty dark times. But in the moment was one of, if not the best performance of any individual I think I had ever seen.
Yeah, it's his last major, which is important to note, before the 2019 Masters. So that's the last time we see him at the top of his game. And even then, he's not really at the top of his game because he's hampered with such incredible injuries, which I think when we talk about legacy, you have to believe that if Tiger from, 2008 all the way through the 2010s had not sustained such significant injuries related to golf, he certainly would be blowing away even more records. Probably would have caught Jack, or not, if not surpassed him, would certainly be over Sam Snead's, 82 wins, which he's sitting at now, and essentially was operating at 50% maybe for several years in playing golf. It's just an incredible performance, this 2008 Torrey Pines, but it's significant in the story of Tiger Woods too, because it is that kind of last, what we almost thought, looking back, could have been the last heroic thing we got to see him do.
I think we're both grateful that didn't end up being the case, but if that was sort of the last great moment, I think there would be few that could have topped it. So if you haven't listened to the main episode yet, we talk a lot more about this and his legacy and how all of this culminated in a truly historic 2019 Masters win. Hope you check it out. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of the Masters this weekend. We'll talk to you next time.